It's long been said that playing sports is a great way to build character. But for Christians, you can take that even a step further. Sports can not only build character, but also be a tool God uses to teach us and bring us closer to himself. Over the past few years, U.S. national hockey player Gigi Marvin has experienced that truth firsthand. When you grow up in War Road, Minnesota, hockey is just what you do.
I grew up in a hockey town and a hockey family, so the skates were going on no matter what, and it just so happened I fell in love with it. And my dad would always bring me to the rink. And I remember, like, a way he would teach us how to skate is put us on one line, and he'd literally have like little mini donuts and stand at the other line and be like, come on, Gigi, a little bit farther, you can get a donut.
And so in a way, it was mini donuts that launched the hockey career of Gigi Marvin. She would play relentlessly as a kid, but there was one moment that would completely change the way she looked at her future.
I never even knew about really the Olympics or anything until 1998 when I saw women's hockey win gold, and I was just like floored, because before that I was always, we'd play hockey and play anything and be like Stanley Cup champs, like Game 7, overtime goal, I scored, all of us kids would be doing that. And then all of a sudden, 98 Olympic Games come around, Team USA wins it, the gold. I'm like, wow, this is a possibility.
And the possibility became more real as Marvin grew older. As a teenager, she began playing with the U.S. national hockey program, and then in the lead up to the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver, she received the news she had dreamed about.
I remember just sitting in the room, and the coach gets up and he reads a list of names, and they start at like the A's, and you're just sitting here, Marvin, Marvin. Like in my head, I was just like, Marvin, 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 right? And so you can't focus on anything except for that, and I just remember hearing my name, and I was just like, blown away. So thankful.
Marvin would go on to not only play in the 2010 Olympics, but also in the 2014 Olympics in Sochi, getting the honor of representing her country while playing the game she loves.
It's amazing. I don't know if I can describe it. You can just see it in my face. Knowing that the entire country, whether they know you or not, like they cheer for you and they're encouraging you. Like we would walk through airports and we don't even know people, or on the street, and they'd be like, hey, like, we're so excited to cheer for you, or what you're doing, just encouraging them. It's like, I don't even know you.
Being an Olympic athlete has provided a unique platform to reach people, one that Gigi recognizes and uses to share what God has done in her life.
This is exactly what I was made for. This is what I was told to do. This is what I was born to do, to skate, but ultimately glorify God.
But being a light for Christ isn't always easy, especially in the midst of crushing disappointment. Gigi and her Olympic teammates experienced this, losing to Canada in the gold medal game, both in 2010 and 2014, with the most recent loss in overtime, no less, cutting the deepest.
I remember significant steps where God worked a healing in my heart, and it was kind of like a grieving process because it was a loss of a dream, and it was we worked so hard day in, day out, where you just literally, like, blood, sweat, and tears is like legit. It actually happened where you fight for something so hard with a group of team and persevere, and you go through so much. It was really challenging. Because you want the gold, and you want it to win. You set yourself up to win, but ultimately, like, thank the Lord that I can rest on Him and just be like, God, why couldn't you just give that to me? But at the same time, being like, thank you, Lord, that my identity does not lie in this medal.
Disappointment? Yeah, but even through the most gut-wrenching of losses, Gigi's faith wouldn't be shaken.
I remember a reporter calling me and being like, you've mentioned before, like, Christ is, your number one. But after you lost, like, now would you rather have the gold? I'm like, are you kidding? Absolutely not.
As Gigi healed emotionally from the Olympic loss, physically, things just kept getting worse.
You're so trained as an Olympian to just push through pain. And finally, I realized that I have a severe injury that's chronic.
A hip injury has forced Gigi to take a break from the game she loves and forced her to live life on God's timetable.
That has been one of the most challenging things that I've ever had to go through, just simply because I have not skated at all this year, like not once, and I haven't not done that since I couldn't even walk. Like literally, the last time, I was 0, like 0 to 1, then 1 I had skates on. It's been challenging, but amazing at the same time, as God has just spoken that you are so much more than just a hockey player. Just trust me, like, I am taking care of you. This is gonna be a long process. And I know you want to get out and skate, but just trust. And I'm like, all right.
Through the ups and the downs, the wins and the losses, Gigi Marvin has learned that she's not in control. And turning all of life's cares over to God has allowed her to experience a victory that goes far beyond an Olympic medal. You know, sitting down with Gigi, it was kind of surprising to see just how raw those emotions still were from a loss. You know, it's been a while now since that loss in Sochi, but it was still hard for her to talk about it, and you could see just how much she poured into that, she and her teammates, and how much it still hurt, but yet she's learned from it, and she's found things that God has taught her about herself and about himself through that loss. But it was still difficult for her to talk about.
I can only imagine what that's like, because for women's professional hockey players, there is no NHL, there is no pro league. The Olympics are everything.
That's the highest level.
Right,
yeah.
so you pour so much into the Olympics, you only get a shot every couple of years, and to get to the championship game and come up close. But I really love what she had to say about how God has strengthened her. You know, a lot of times through tribulation, that's when your walk with Christ really strengthens.
And we mentioned her injury. She's still rehabbing and hoping to make one more trip to the Olympics down the road if God allows her to heal completely.
Great story.